Hey YouTube, I'm back making another video. Today I'm making something that is super special. As you guys know, I love seafood, and I have a little sunburn because I went to the beach and forgot to put sunblock on. And I've been watching this video of Mark Wayne's. Um, he's also a YouTube person that cooks and travels, and he went to Mexico and he started trying different foods and stuff, and one of the places that he went to was making a ceviche. As everybody knows, it's a Spanish dish with seafood, my favorite of course. And everybody does it different. Some people use shrimp, some people use fish, some people use oysters. You can use basically anything you want, and the dish is super easy, super simple. And yeah, so I'm just gonna get right into it. I did a little prep cooking, and I went ahead and did the shrimp already. I cooked them and stuff, as you can see here. And I have a little slither of an onion so that I can get that going. And octopus, I'm gonna add that. That's optional. I know a lot of people don't like octopus, but you can skip that part out if you don't. You could just put shrimp, or you can just put fish, whatever you like. So this is my way of making my ceviche, because I'm pretty sure everyone has their own way of doing it. I also have oysters. I couldn't find them, the real oyster with the shell and all the way I like it. I had to get this one, but this one's pretty good. It's Northwest grown Pacific oysters. As you can see, super good. I'm going to be chopping those up and leaving some whole, just as the shrimp as well, because I absolutely love that. And then you will see from here. Oh, let me just go here. Okay. So I'm just using a little bit of a red onion because you don't want to use too much because you're going to eat it raw, obviously. So it's like basically, for those of you that don't know what a ceviche is, it's pretty much a seafood salad. It's cold, and you can add whatever you want to add into it. I just have my own little twist of what I put in it. The only one thing that I was missing, that I wasn't able to get, was cilantro, and I know that's like a big must in ceviche, but it's not really gonna change the taste. Like, this is something that's so versatile. Like, you can change up the recipes many different ways. Some people use clamato juice. That's something that I was thinking of using as well. Or you can just use just the natural juices from the seafood itself. Like, I'm going to use a lot of the water that came from the oysters. So that'll give it like a real seafoody flavor. Okay. So you just want to chop it up, pretty good. You don't want too many big chunks in there. And then the shrimp, I think I'm going to just do some whole and cut some of them up. Because most ceviches, you're supposed to cut the whole entire, thing. But I like chunks. I like that. Oh, and I'm also going to use olives. Let me get that before I forget. Like I said, this is very versatile for you guys that, I use the Goya one. I absolutely love these because it has a red pepper and everything that gives it a lot of color. If you guys don't want to use that, skip it. You don't have to use that, but it just gives it such a good flavor. Alright, so I'm going to get that into here. I'm using a big bowl so that this way, when it comes time to mix it, I can have enough space, because if you try using it in a smaller one, you won't be able to. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's that. And I'm going to cut a little bit of the shrimp as well. I switched to this knife because it's easier to use to scoop it up, but I would say thick chunks. When I did these because these were raw. They weren't pre-cooked. I deshelled them, and then I just added a little flavor like adobo and sazon. That was it. But that's optional as well. You don't have to do that. So I'm just leaving like big meaty chunks like that. Ooh, overboard. I think I'll do a couple more and then just leave some whole. Okay, so that's good enough, and then the rest we can just put it in there. Okay, once you get that done, you want to cut up the oysters, but you know, be careful not to spill the water out, because that's what you want to use for like the marinade. That's going to be like the base to hold it all together. Let me get my knife. Okay, so this is my first time using this because I love using fresh seafood. For those of you that know me know I love seafood, and it's just so good. I'm gonna try to use the clam juice, and then I'm gonna cut some and leave some whole. I'm gonna use the whole thing because this is really for this recipe. I don't really would eat this anywhere else except for a ceviche, or if it just came out the shell with some lemon and a little Tabasco sauce. I'm gonna put the whole thing. All right, look how big these are, guys. I absolutely love this. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys don't like this. You can skip this out, but these are nice and fresh, and they smell delicious. Okay, so I'll just cut up the smaller ones, or maybe I'll cut up the big ones, only the smaller ones, so it's not so chunky. All right, the water is dripping through. Okay, yeah, this has a lot of moisture. You just want to like roughly chop it, nothing fancy, because you're just going to grab it with your spoon and eat it like a regular salad. So I'll leave this one how it is. Oh, the texture is super soft. And you want to leave all that goodness there. All that juice, you're going to leave it there, because that's what's going to give all the rest of the flavor in the salad, in the ceviche. Okay. Let me just wash that off. Okay. And that's what was coming overboard. Alright guys, so that was really the hard part. I have a side actually that I pre-cooked. I'm going to show you when I come to the plating to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so I can't tell you any measurements because I just eyeballed everything. Like, I really don't know how much, like, if you're, you know, if you're a person that loves olives, then by all means use as many as you want, but I just kind of eyeball. I probably use, I would say, like 3 spoonsful, and try to get the let me get closer so you guys can see me what it's looking like over here. I hope you guys can see. Get the red onions that come in it. Or red peppers. Those are red peppers, I'm sorry. They're called manillas. Okay. I think I'll just do one more, just red pepper and a little bit more olives. And don't put too much of the juice because, as you know, it's very vinegary, so you don't want to use too much of that. Okay, so it's coming along. Then we're going to use a little bit of the olive oil, not the whole entire olive oil, but of the pulpo, which is the octopus. Use a little oil, and then open it all the way, and then just spoon it out and try not to get too much of the oil. We don't want it to be too oily. Even though it's olive oil, it's good, but we don't want to use too much of that. Let it drain out. I'm just using 1 can, but you absolutely could use a little less if you wanted to, or not use it at all. It's up to you. Now, if you notice, I put it all on one side because I'm going to take some out. I'm kind of trying to play with this recipe myself because I've only made it, a handful of times. So I'm only putting it on one side for now. I'm going to kind of just work with it on one side so that the other side, I can taste it without the pulpo and see the difference and see, how it tastes. Okay, so after that, you want to cut up a tomato. And you definitely want to use, let me see which one is good. You want to use an avocado. And a lime. I'm going to use this big one. And I'll tell you guys a little trick. You can just roll it. Roll the lime. And that'll get the juices flowing so that when you go to squeeze it, it'll be much easier. Or you can take the easy way out and just have the lime juice already. I didn't buy any lemons, so I'm definitely going to use the lemon. So the acidity here that's going to make the whole dressing and the ceviche come together is the lemon and the lime. That's my little secret. That's how I do it. Okay, so we got that. You can also use a little bit of regular olive oil at the end if you want to. Like I said, the only thing missing from here was the cilantro. So you would just use, I would say, I don't know, a handful, not too much of cilantro. But it's still going to be good. Okay, so we'll wash off my cutting board real quick. Now I'm gonna do the whole tomato because I love tomatoes, and I just feel that just gives it that bright color, because it's really good. When you add the tomatoes, it just makes the whole dish pop. It just really is good. It gives it a sweetness. I'm going to try to cut it in cubes. As you can see, I have also small, little pearl onions I was also going to add, but we already have the red onion, so you can pick whichever onion you like best and then just use that. So I'm just going to try to dice it up, basically. Have it diced. This is so similar to pico de gallo, also a Spanish recipe, which is just basically onions, peppers, cilantro, and lime juice, and tomatoes. You can take the seeds out if you want, but I just leave it all together because I love tomatoes and I love the flavor that it gives, so just leave it all together. This is super simple, super easy, and the hard part, like I said, was, cooking the shrimp, and that was it. Like, really, it's so easy. I try to use most of the tomato as much as I can. Okay. So I'm going to use that. all the juice in there. And then comes the avocado. Look at that. These are the baby avocados. I always get the smaller ones because I find them to be much more sweeter. I'm going to also teach you guys another trick when you want to cube it. Really simple, fast and easy. Just score it across, straight across. Make the lines across one way and then the opposite way in cubes. And then once you've done that, take a spoon and spoon it out and it'll come out in cubes, exact cubes. Let me move this over here so you guys can see it. You see that? It comes out in cubes. So you don't really, have to do too much work. It's already done for you. Okay. And let me do the other half. So like I said, you score it across one way, the long way, as thin as you can, and then the opposite way. And then you'll just, again, take the spoon and spoon it on the edges very slowly. You don't want to get the peel, you just want to go, pretty much to where the skin is at, where it ends at. You can feel it when you're doing it, where to end. Yeah, that's a little trick that I learned, how to cube it the easier way, instead of chopping it up. It's already chopped up for you. You can take it out and do it that way. I think I'm going to use another avocado just because I can tell that one wasn't of the other small ones. So I used one more avocado. I think I'll use this one. It's always a surprise. You don't know how the avocado is going to be when you open it. It's always that surprise element. You're like hoping that it's not going to be rotten. But I guess I'm a good picker because these came out pretty good. Alright. Score it one more time. This one's a little more softer. But I love it that way sometimes because they come out to be sweeter. If you get them too hard, they're never soft and never sweet. I noticed that. So if they're a little soft, it's okay. This is more for the, for the flavor, so. Alright, and now let's do this half. It just pops out. I'm lucky. Other times it gives me a hard time to come out. Okay. All right, so that's done. And last but not least is my new lime juicer and lemon squeezer that I just got from the store. So I'm gonna cut it in half and then pour it all over. I'm gonna use literally the whole entire lime. And then I'm gonna use some of the lemon ones that I already have. Yeah, so make sure you keep it away from you because, guys, I have done this and it's like sprays in your eyes. For some reason, it just goes flying everywhere. You just want to splash that everywhere. Like, try to get it all around and just put it in one spot so this way you can do less mixing. Because this salad, ceviche, as we call it, you don't want to toss it too much like a regular salad. You kind of just want to leave it as is. Stir it up a little to mix the flavors, but you don't want to mess with it too much. And then I'll use the other half. You guys need to smell this. So I used a whole lime, and if I had a regular lemon, I would also use a whole lemon. Because that's going to be, like I said, the dressing to the ceviche. I always thought, growing up, when I used to eat ceviche, I always thought it was vinegar that they used. But then when I looked up the recipe, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. They're using a lemon and lime. Or some people just use lime. But when I first did it, I used the lemon, and I thought it was such a good flavor. Alright, so I'm just going to eyeball it. Sprinkle it all around. So this here is equivalent to, I think, it says punches my heart opening. Okay, so this is 3 tablespoons of lemon juice equals the juice of 1 medium lemon. Okay. Alright, so I used about a little less than half. Alright, so now I'm going to stir it up. Just take your spoon, stir it slowly. I hope you guys can see this. And then bring up the whole entire seafood, the onion, everything to the top. Make sure you coat everything in that lime juice and lemon juice. Get the tomatoes on there. Like I said, I'm doing it 2 separate ways instead of just mixing the whole thing because I want to see how one is going to taste with the octopus and one without it. Obviously, I could have put it in 2 different bowls, but if I like it, then I'm just going to mix it all together either way, so it doesn't matter. But so what I have prepared, guys, is the plantains, because this is a really good side that you can have with it if you just don't want rice or you don't, this is radishes that I cut up because I absolutely love that too, and the stones, the plantains. So I would just scoop this into the plate, or if you wanted a bowl, I've really seen some really nice like wine glasses that you can actually put them in, glass ones. I've seen it done in the videos and it looks so good that way too. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but amazing. The colors, just everything. Red, the greens, the shrimp, the olives, everything. And then this side, let me turn it this way so you guys can see the octopus. Okay, so I'm just going to take that side out and then just plate it so that you can see what it looks like. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me get my bigger spoon. You want to get all the juices too. I'm going to separate that. Take all that octopus out. And then this way I can just mix it. Okay. And I want to get that nice big fluffy oyster right there. You can also add Tabasco to this too, guys, because that's super good. Okay. And stir it up however you like. Alright, so let's taste it. See how it came out, how I did. I went for the oyster first because I absolutely love oysters. I can't even tell you. You guys gotta try this recipe. It's really simple, easy, and so delicious. It's so refreshing, nice and cold. Definitely good. Okay, dip it in with the juices to add the radish in. Another thing too, guys, is a lot of people they put cucumbers in it. and they kind of like dice it up and put it in because they like the texture. But I've never done it that way. I don't know, but probably next time I'll try it that way. And then with the plantains, you could kind of just dip it in that juice. It's so good. Alright guys, so that's it for now. I hope you guys like my ceviche, Jahidi style. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you. Bye now.